Are you really hearing the voice of God, or is it just your emotions dressed up in spiritual language? Whispering what you want to hear. This is the silent crisis no one talks about, especially among believers who think they're walking in divine purpose but are actually being led by fear, desire, or wounded pride masquerading as confirmation. You say God told you to quit that job, marry that person, move to that city, but was it Him? Or was it your own desperation for control or validation? Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9 warns that the heart is deceitful above all things, which means your emotions can mimic the voice of God so closely. You'll swear it's Him until the consequences hit. Emotions scream in urgency. God whispers with peace. Emotions fluctuate wildly. God remains the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 8. And here's the shocking truth. Even spiritual feelings can be false signals if your flesh is secretly driving the steering wheel while your spirit rides in the trunk. When your decisions come with anxiety, confusion, or the need to constantly defend them to others, that's not the peace of God guarding your heart. Philippians chapter 4 verse 7. That's your soul throwing tantrums, demanding its own way. You want to know if it's God? Look at the fruit. God's voice produces surrender, even when it hurts. It produces humility, not ego. It draws you into obedience, not just outcomes. Too many people want a prophetic word more than they want the word itself. Yet God's voice will never contradict Scripture. Even if your feelings try to justify it. That relationship you're clinging to? God didn't tell you to stay. Your fear of being alone did. That business deal you feel at peace about? Maybe it's not peace. Maybe it's your greed pacifying your discernment. Emotions have a short-term memory. The Spirit leads you into eternal truth. John chapter 16 verse 13. And here's the hidden danger. If you're not careful, you'll build an entire life, ministry, or marriage around a voice that was never God's to begin with. And then ask Him to bless your rebellion. Even Satan can disguise himself as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 14. And he's not attacking your hearing, he's manipulating your filter. That's why fasting matters. It kills the flesh so your discernment can breathe. That's why stillness matters, because the Spirit rarely competes with noise. And that's why intimacy matters, because when you know the shepherd, you recognize his voice. John chapter 10 verse 27. Not just react to your own echo chamber. Sometimes, God's voice sounds like a shut door, not an open one. Sometimes, it's a wait that burns your timeline to ashes. Sometimes, it's silence, not because He's absent, but because He's watching whether you move from faith or feelings. So if you're unsure, stop. Go back to the last thing God said clearly. Anchor yourself there. Don't chase signs, chase Scripture. Don't follow peace that's rooted in your comfort zone. Follow the peace that comes after surrender. Even when everything around you shakes. If you're still asking, was that God? It probably wasn't. When He speaks, you know, not in your nerves, but in your spirit. So here's the challenge. Strip away your desires. Confront your emotions, and don't move until the voice aligns with the word, the fruit, and the peace that passes understanding. Otherwise, you're not walking in purpose, you're wandering in circles. Calling it destiny,